Did Jesus forget to include in his Beatitudes, "Blessed are the tithers, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven"? Certainly not. The bus going from Lagos to Benin was waylaid by highway robbers. They got on the bus brandishing automatic weapons. "This is a stick-up," declared the leader of the gang in a menacing tone designed for maximum effect. "Is there anybody here who has been paying his tithes? If you have been paying your tithes, raise your hands." A few passengers raised their hands sheepishly. He told those who did to move to one side. Then he declared, "Those of you who have not been paying your tithes are thieves and robbers. You have been robbing God. Therefore, we are going to rob you." The robbers then carted away the money and valuables of those passengers who had not been paying their tithes. Evangelical thieves, you might not have heard this story before. But, in all probability, you might have heard a similar version of it. Different versions are common in the churches. Those who tell it insist it really happened. But every time you hear stories like this, know for a fact that it is a big fat lie. Only a thief would employ a thief to preach the word of truth. James 1:18. Consider this: a thief broke into a man's house and held him at gunpoint. After collecting as much of his valuables as he could, he asked the house owner a question on his departure: "Have you given your life to Christ?" The hapless house owner replied in the negative. "I don't believe in God," he said. The armed robber became concerned about the man's salvation. So he sat back down and decided to have an extensive chat with him. For the next 1 hour, he preached to him as persuasively as he could, the gospel of salvation. Then he left with the man's valuables. Do you think the house owner became a Christian? If he did, what kind of Christian do you suppose he became? What kind of righteousness can one expect to learn from a thief? Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You travel over land and sea to win a single convert, and when he becomes one, you make him twice as much a son of hell as you are. Matthew 23:15. Tabernacle of liars. If something is of God, it does not need to be promoted with lies. However, pastors don't consider it a sin to tell lies in order to scare Christians into giving them their hard-earned money. Listen to one such fabrication coming from no less an eminent pastor than the former president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Io Oritsjafor. "I know there are some people telling you not to pay tithe. Don't listen to them, they want to kill you. You go die quick, this is nothing but witchcraft. I have paid no tithe in over 20 years. Nevertheless, I am still alive. Indeed, God has blessed me with good health." Pastor Samadi Mi says, tithing helps us to secure God's blessings. Compare and contrast this piece of sophistry with Jesus' statement, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Matthew 5:3. Did Jesus forget to include in his Beatitudes, "Blessed are the tithers, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven"? Certainly not. Woe to them! For they have gone in the way of Cain, have run greedily in the error of Balaam for profit. Jude 1:11.